Hello, my name is Taylor, and at a young age, I was introduced to the idea of recycling. At first, it was just this blue bin that I knew that paper and plastic went in, but then it became just more of just having a global awareness of where I live and wanting to keep the earth clean and wanting my carbon footprint to be as low as possible. But I think what really got me into the mood of wanting to just be environmentally friendly was actually a Dr. Seuss book classic called The Lorax. Now, the Lorax speaks for the trees do not have tongues. He's introduced this character called the Onceler. The Onceler wants to use the trees to make various materials and to make items that he can sell, whether it be sweaters or bike seats. But he soon finds out that nature has its limitations, as humans also found out. And as he chops down the last tree, the Lorax leaves him with this one quote: "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not." As humans, we use the natural materials around us until we became quite aware that nature has its limitations. We learned that we could create our own materials, such as plastic. In our everyday lives, we use plastic materials for efficiency instead of sustainability. If we were to flip the switch on purchasing plastic items strictly because they are easily accessible to us and instead begin to think of the positive effects of using reusable products, we're one step closer to preventing increased damage by the uses of plastic materials. Everyone ought to reduce their single plastic use because it is harmful to the environment. In my speech, I will give a clear overview of the origin of plastic, how we as consumers have used it in the past and now, and also how it may be used in the future, the environmental damage of plastic, and how the use of reusable items can be replaced and replace our reliance on this product. First and foremost, what is plastic? Where did it even come from? In the article History and Future of Plastics, the word plastic is defined as pliable and easily shaped, so we can mold it and shape it into whatever we want, and we have. Via science history, the creation of plastic was inspired by John Wesley Hyatt, who was encouraged by New York's offer of $10,000 to anyone who could create a replacement for ivory. We as humans knew that natural materials were limited, so we took to creating our own new materials, although the creation of plastic replaced just the use of ivory and took the targets off the backs of elephants. Plastic was primarily looked at to protect the natural world from destructive forces of human need, which is quite ironic because I personally feel, and with the facts I'm going to share with you, has been quite the opposite. A Time magazine article, Plastics Come of Age, noted that because of World War II, plastics had been turned into new uses and adapted to various other plastic materials all over again. During World War II, plastic production in the United States alone increased by 300%. After the Great Depression and World War II, consumerism skyrocketed. People were in these stores, and you know what they were mostly buying? Plastic products. It began to replace a number of natural materials and other things that we've already been using, like steel, wood, and glass, because it was simply inexpensive, safe, and sanitary. Secondly, plastic is quite present in our ocean, all over and all around the world. This pliable item is not biodegradable, meaning there's no really throwing it away, and it does not break down easily or at all for that matter. From the article The Plastic Problem, it estimates that every square mile of the ocean contains around 46,000 pieces of floating plastic, and 44% of all seabirds, all sea turtles, and a growing list of fish species have been documented with plastic in or around their bodies. Most ocean animals perceive plastic bags, plastic fish hooks, plastic bottles, and other plastic items as food, and so it's being introduced to their food chain. And I was also reading that sea turtles love to eat jellyfish, and they perceive the floating plastic bags as that. The floating mass of plastic known as the Giant Pacific Garbage Patch, located off the coast of California, is almost now twice the size of the state of Texas. In the article 5 Ways That Plastic Harms the Environment, it predicts by 2050, the mass of plastic in the world's oceans will extend the mass of all fish that live there. So after hearing these huge numbers, statistics, studies, and facts, what can we do on an individual or communal level? Well, furthermore, we need to use alternative reusable items that can replace our reliance on plastic. I have some items here, over here, that I would like to share with you. They're items that I like to use. This is a reusable straw. It is a great replacement for plastic straws when you're at a restaurant or a fast food joint. Say you're at In-N-Out. Mostly, and I know now because of COVID we can't really do this, but most of the time when I'm able to serve myself a fountain drink, I opt out of using the plastic lid that goes on top of those cups, and I opt out of using the plastic straws as well. I try to bring this with me everywhere I go, but sometimes if I don't, then maybe I'll just drink from the side of the cup instead of using the plastic products that come along with the cup itself. Another great product that I love to use, and I think is great for you coffee lovers out there too, is making coffee at home with a pour over coffee maker. Now it's very simple. You put your coffee grains in here into this cone here. As you can see, it's been used quite a bit. I've had this for a couple of years and it's lasted me a very long time. I bought it for around 15 bucks. And it's quite sustainable. You put your coffee grains in here, you boil your hot water in a kettle, you pour the hot water over the coffee grains, and bam, it drip drops into the glass part here. And if you're on the go with your coffee, a great thing to use is the famous mason jar. I love a great mason jar for a reusable water bottle if I forget my water bottle at home that day. I love putting my coffee, my teas in here. So it's great for hot and cold beverages, and it's also great for snacks, right? You can put your nuts in here. You can put a rice dish or a small pasta side in here and carry it with you. It's a great on-the-go product. Right? So those are 3 things right there that could help save you money. You can reuse them. You can wash them. These are all things that are safe to go into the dishwasher. Maybe not so much this. You kind of have to wash this out by hand. But those are some items that you can use in replace of that. And according to the Association of Zoos and Aquarium Organization, most plastic straws simply break down into even smaller particles. And these particles grow into very toxic things that get into the soil, the air, and the water. And they are harmful to animals, plants, people, and the environment. Making new products itself requires a lot of energy. Raw materials are extracted from the earth, and then they're transported to somewhere where they can be sold. And as a result, reduction and reuse are the most effective ways that you and I can save natural resources, protect the environment, and save money all at the same time. I would also bring to your attention the tote bag. It's a great way and a great thing to replace the plastic bag for your groceries, for when you're out shopping, even if you're at the mall and you're shopping for clothes. I sometimes use it as a book bag. This one was made by a friend. I also think supporting small businesses is a great way to just keep money in your community, keep money in your friend circle, and it's just great little gifts and things to be reused, washed, and reused again. Plastic free is also becoming a new trend and challenge for the market and its consumers. And the New York Times article, Life Without Plastic is Possible, it's just very hard, states designers have embraced plastic free as a new challenge. Whether it's building a supermarket, aisles without plastic, or making eco-friendly clothing that does not involve virgin plastics. Now, virgin plastics are plastics that have never been reused, right? So sometimes you get a product and it says, oh, this product is made with reusable plastic. That's not a virgin plastic. And so celebrities like SZA try to use reusable fabrics in their clothing lines, which I think is really awesome. Somebody in our generation is stepping up and trying to create a more sustainable clothing. And that kind of combats fast fashion, which is a whole nother topic. In conclusion, the origin of plastic introduced the possibility of humans creating their own materials without the limitations of nature. The presence of plastic in the ocean creates global environmental, and sometimes emotional damage, but the use of reusable items could possibly replace our reliance on plastic products. Overall, if we just took a look at all of our home items and replace one plastic single-use item with a reusable item, we could be looking at reducing the plastic dystopia that we live in now. I thank you so much for listening. I kind of felt like I did a little TED Talk here. It felt great, it felt awesome. Can't wait to listen and see all of your other speeches as well. Have a great one.